Thanks for the Jobs for her platform to make me call again and be a part of this expert chat. It has been a very good experience last time. Me interacting with you ladies, gorgeous ladies in this downtime, and it's a different experience I had. So now coming to our present topic of tips and tricks of software technologies and how it affects a coder or a programmer. I have been saying before that, let me introduce myself. I am Jalaja, a postgraduate in information systems with 5 years of experience in software development and 3 years of experience in web development technologies. I do have experience as a freelance online trainer too, and my passion is blogging. I do have my own blog in WordPress and the Facebook, LinkedIn, and many of the technical articles also. So, these all have been my passion, as I said, and which includes my training. I love training, teaching the kids because they meant whatever way you teach them. And taking the platform of technology to the kids has been a very challenging and interesting. I, as I am a certified Java developer, I do have some certification in Java development and web application development. I recently, in fact, last week, I have completed my certification in Zoho Creator also. That is one of the cloud platform or SaaS platform that is used in a very wide way nowadays to bring all applications under a single umbrella. So I have been into different technologies, as you can see, from Java, JavaScript, Angular, JS, and now into Zoho. Uh, it's your passion that makes the things go forward. That is the only thing I say or advice or to any of the newcomers or even the experience also. How you take the things is what matters. In fact, I remember to be saying in one of my previous chat also, it's not that we are using technologies, we are living the technologies. Say at 8 years back, or say when I started my own career after graduation, we were using the technologies. But now it's like we are living the technologies. In the current situation is like that, like everything is will be a standstill or the perspective of life will not change completely unless you realize the importance of technology in your day-to-day life. Say, let us take our daily routine. It involves the technology in every way, in whatever field you say, business, education, travel, medical, food, networking, whatever it is. The technology has been it can be said as a it is only a boon, but not a curse. Of course, there has been always a debate where if it is an artificial intelligence goes to an extreme level, whether the technology becomes a curse. That entirely depends upon how you control the technology, how you take a grip of the technologies. And that happens when you, as an individual, has an proficiency in a technology itself. I would definitely say a technology is the boon in the modern world. Say in whatever way, a communication, a WhatsApp call, a Zoom call, or say our live chat now, whatever it is happening. Networking, say via webinars, virtual meetups, or applications. And a gaming world, whatever the game, for whatever the age group it has been there. And food, air fryer, instant pot, microwave, soup makers. All these are nothing but they are using the technologies and using the technology parts you are living the life. So you can't not separate the technology from the life. It has been in the part of day-to-day life and it would be there for down years. I can't say 10 years, 15 years. Yes, it has started. In fact, it would be there along with you. As you go, it would be there. So, before that, I could really say something about, what actually is a coding. A coding is basically the process of creating the codes from one language to another one. In fact, I would say the coding could be a part of the programming since it actually implements the initial steps of the programming. It could be said as a subset. Programming is a process of developing an executable machine level program that can be implemented without any errors. Now, the coding is a process that can be said as translation of writing codes from one language to another, whereas the programming is the process of building a program, executable program that can be used to carry out machine level outputs. Coders, they're mainly translated into the requirement of their logic into a language, whatever the language it is. Whereas the programming, it's like more than that of a coding. It 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 involves analyzing the requirement, developing the codes, and also involving different artifacts to make a particular system work in a proper way. That's what makes a difference of programming from a coding. And if you can say you want to improve the coding skills, that has to be a mandatory part in today's life. That's something to do with uh, you know it's like a normal routine. You are having food, you're having your natural calls. So it has become that much importance of knowing about the technology, knowing about the programming, knowing about the coding. And say we as a women, we need to have a very good knowledge of everything whatever you say. And as I have been saying in one of my previous chat also, you could make something to achieve by only if the persistence is added to your passion and that is translated into your perseverance. Then only you could be very successful in your journey of a software developer or a programmer or a generally homemaker also. That's not a difference. But these are the three things that you need to really keep in mind. Because success in any industry can be said as a combination of a focus, hard work, luck, and ability to reinvent yourself. It's not like we are inventing some others, we are reinventing yourself from time to time. And this is really possible by a woman because a woman is a strength in herself. She can achieve, she can go to any heights and she can break the glass ceiling. And as I said, technology involves you to understand what is going around you, what is the things that has to be really taken care of. Ah, oh, very prompt query from one of the uh, lady audience here. She asked me like, what can one do to improve the coding skills? Yes, as I have been saying, coding is the basic literacy in the digital age. It is a basic literacy, and it is importance of this to understand it and be able to work with it so that you can sail like a duck on a water. And making the coding learn for yourself helps to improve the communication, creativity, confidence. It helps in solving a problem, making a kid's challenge, and to develop the resilience. It helps to improve the creativity in whatever way things and to improve your coding, the query you got. You need to really learn code to make yourself self-sufficient. It has something to do to make you more employable by an employee. So there are many sources for this. Say going for an online course, video course, interactive online courses, text-based courses, or By just watching the video tutorials. It has been a storm nowadays, in fact, of every video or of every technology, of everything that is happening around in the world could be put at your doorstep, at your laptop step itself. So explore it, explore for the right one and see it, experience it. That is the only way to get the coding to be learned by you. And don't forget, don't say the textbooks are old way. No, they are in fact, reading is a very good habit, as you know, and using the textbooks to learn the coding and then practicing would really help you to achieve success or to be a perfect in a particular technology. And use the apps that mainly are gamified apps to make you learn coding. Don't see the games as only a game. You need to learn. You need to run, catch, or make a point. No, you analyze how the app has been made, how the game has been made, and don't neglect the books. Once you are perfect, or once you are learning something, then you teach someone else. That is more important. That is more important. When you are teaching someone else, when you are teaching someone else, then that is a way of how you improve the coding. You make some other one to explore the coding, and if possible, take a free course. Identify the part of like why you want to code and focus on only one language first and be patient, be perfect in that language, and then go on to achieve or learn some other languages. This would be a really an effective way. So that was in fact, a very good question that has made me to speak very good things. Uh, that was actually from Shweta Manila. It was nice. I liked it. And yes, the next question here is there is one from Sanvi saying like, what are some tips to get better at coding in general? In general, writing a code can be sometimes a difficult part if if you don't organize everything from the start. Mainly, if you are dealing with a big projects, say a big application development, then if you don't organize everything, then it's a mess. When I say the organizing here, it means the process of the coding, the management of the code, and then uh, how we are dealing with the time. If you are not able to manage any of these things at all, then the time will not be efficiently used by you. You are using more of time, and that is really a big headache. And whenever I say this particular code is very good code, that means the good code is maintainable, reusable, and testable. I repeat again, it's maintainable, reusable, and testable. That means whatever the coding you are using, you are developing, it should be according to a particular coding standard. That is one of the best practices, better coding you could say. And while writing a code, you write the comments. You write the general comments. Say, for example, for what you are writing the next line, you write that to be a comment. Because later on, say after 2 or 3 days itself, you leave this particular code, you leave this particular page, go do some other thing and come back. It will be like a Greek Latin to you, a new language. Even though you created the code, you wrote the code, you will not be able to get it. If you are able to use the comments of a particular technology that whatever you are making that to be used, then that would be like a bookmark for you. Yes, this is used for this one. And the coding part, whatever it is, you need to refactor. Refactor in the sense factoring again and again. Say if your function or method has say 20 lines, then that naturally means you are including much logic in it. And this logic can be split into, say, two or more functions. As a coder, as a programmer, you might be aware by this time what is a function, what is a variable, what is a method. So, whatever you're writing the lines, don't go on write like a story or a poem, but you split it into a particular functions. Whether two functions or three functions never matters, but refactoring is important. And say if your function name has more than 20 characters, then you need to really rethink the name, because you are naming the function in 20 characters. That's like a huge process. You'll not be able to remember forever. You need to write or you name it in simple words. Say, for example, if I want to write programming to make a particular go on iterating from A to Z. So that one I can say, right, run code for running alphabets A to Z. This is the more than 20 characters. Why do you want to run it like that? You can write reiterate A to Z. That's it. Or re A caps E. This is enough, right? Only for four characters. Same way, if you have a lot of nested loops, then you are like doing some resource intensive processing without realizing it. Then it's like you are not rethinking the logic. The nested loops is really horrible. You use the loops, but not the nested loops. There is small difference in nested loops and loops. And if you are a very good coder, then applying design patterns for your code is a very good way. For the sake of using patterns, you need to learn patterns, you need to use the patterns. And the one more thing is you need to avoid the global coding. And as I said before, the name should be meaningful, the structure should be meaningful. And as a part of your coding, you need to really use version control software. There are many version control softwares in the market and automated build tools, GitHubs. Use code documenters. Use a testing framework. A testing framework makes your written code to be tested in an effective way. And after completing everything of your coding part, you should be able to test on it and gain a positive response. Then only your code is a perfect one. Otherwise, you need to rethink, reshuffle, and do everything. Coming to the next questions. How important is the software while mastering the coding? This is a question from Tapsi. Tapsi, and a similar query I'm seeing here. How can I work my way through softwares to get better at coding? In fact, even though in this technology era, I would say for many people, programming is like a dream, a haunted dream, because they're not following what has to be followed. You should keep in mind that programming is nothing but the way of how you are talking with the machines, with the systems. And you are asking the machine, the laptop, the computer to do what you want to do, how you want to do, when and why. So this is the common thing you might have heard in your high school. What to do, when to do, and why to do. So when I say the high school, you might have started with C, right? That is the basic program. There's no problem in choosing a specific programming language, and many curriculums have been developed by C. Because, and there is a reason also for that. Why only C? Because it has been the foundation for the coming era of the technology. And the coming era of the technology is nothing but it has a competitive programming. When I say competitive programming, it's nothing but an advanced form of programming that deals with real world problems. So when we see our code is ruling the world, but if you are not writing a code with a passion, with whatever the requirement it has to satisfy, that there is no effect, no use of you learning a particular language. So your code should be a perfect code only if if it is according to the syntaxes set by the particular language and your own understanding of technical terms like complexity, making the big solutions through shortest codes, minimized codes. And believe me, this is possible only through practice. With no practice, you can't achieve anything. And this practice with a good guidance from a good mentor, exploring it a master place, will be a very good way. So, mastering of the coding can be done in say certain things like the first point, get through a very good understanding, get thorough understanding of whatever you are using. So, you need to study all the concepts of the programming language very deeply. Very deeply. I'm not saying just deeply, very deeply. And always use books that also standard books. Today, in fact, you see many online platforms available from say a normal geek to a perfect amateur, to a perfect or amateur to expert. But you should differentiate what is that you want to learn from where you want to learn. There are many online platforms, also many articles that goes on coming. You can just explore it. And whenever you are writing a coding, follow a hierarchical approach. You can't just go and write the coding part. No. First, you make a flow chart of what you want to do, what is the problem, and what is the solution you really want to give. Then, this will really increase the number of the codes, correct codes, that not only helps you to sharpen your skills. And remember, whatever the thing you are building up, that is meant to face the real world. That means it has to be implemented in the real life. Say, if you remember, say some of things like ticket reservation systems, library management systems. These are all simple projects that were made to be done for a graduate. So, doing small things like this will make you feel like you're a software developer, and that confidence is required. That confidence is required, and then just go on building on that. Explore yourself, and then truncate the code. Truncate in the sense, suppose you are making a simple code for a library management system. So this can be done in several ways, but your main aim should be in such a way that you are making a simpler, shorter way. You are making your own code in a giving a optimal solution to the problem. It's not like you go on writing code. There are many things. There are many codes available for a simple library management systems. But how you are able to manage it or how you are able to write effectively is what matters. And be a fighter. In the sense like you start participating in different competitions, code competitions, whether it is in school level or national level or whatever it is, coding camps. And it's like you are, remember, you are not competing or beating there not only with each other but yourself. Because you can, the ultimate goal of coding is to write the optimal solution to give effective result with shortest time possible. So it's only possible through healthy competitive environment. And this could be really possible if you are going for coding platforms or coding camps. I could say, in fact, there are five pillars to make a coding, mastering in the coding. One is test-driven development, TDD, fundamentals first, libraries and frameworks, mastered apprenticeship, challenge and motivation. Say, going one by one point. Fundamentals first. You need to be really expert in whatever you are learning. Fundamentals are the basics. And then there are some things like that has been pre-built. Pre-built libraries or pre-built frameworks. You can always take the help of those, write in your code and make an effective app. And after doing everything, you are to be testing your developed application or developed program in a test driven environment. So that makes your app to be error free. And go on mastering yourself and challenge yourself and motivate yourself. That is the basic pillars you can consider for mastering any of the coding language or programming languages. And coming to the next one here, I'm a fresher. This is from Shweta Manila. I'm a fresher. How do I work on my coding skills to make them better? As I said, there are in fact many ways to make coding skills to be a better part. A better coder. For making a better coder, you need to really work on always experiencing yourself, experimenting yourself, I could say. That makes you to achieve the new goals. In the sense like I could really classify the programming skills or to make a better coder. There are some ways. As a developer, you should always look for how you improve your programming skills, and it's like a continuous improvement, as I said. And as the world is becoming more connected with the technologies and technology has been evolving, so for a successful programmer, it depends upon his ability to learn to adapt. You should always be looking for the ways to improve the programming skills. Whatever the industry you are, whatever the field you are, it should be having a timeless techniques for your continuous improvement. So, in fact, for this one, first step is to analyze yourself, to know yourself, to know your learning style. Say, different people will have different learning styles. So, find a learning method that actually best suits you. And later on, go to low cost learning tools, whether it is online resources like Linda, Coursera, Udemy, Safari Books Online, or programming books, the physical textbooks. Second point is learn from others. There's nothing wrong. Even you, if you are an expert in a particular field, seek out others' help. Seek out an expert help where on whom you can really confide upon. You can trust upon. It may be your team lead, member of your group, or a neighbor, whoever it is. And for them, be free. In the sense like you show your code and ask for feedback. Don't fear of the criticism because it will not fetch you anything at the end of the day. You take the criticism, try to improve yourself, and start coding. And these things, there is a small agenda that goes on always. Use a 15-minute rule. In the sense, right? In the sense, right? If you get stuck on a problem with more than 15 minutes, ask a co-worker or a neighbor or a student that how we are able to solve the problem or describe your problem. Should the next thing is you should work on real projects. Real projects will definitely make your skill go sharper. You can find an open source project on open source platforms. You can contribute to them regularly, build web applications, or say for normal for charity itself. Don't need to go for a monetary benefits. And silly app idea will make you to achieve something. And the next point is you should look under the hood. That means Study other frameworks, source code for example, and you can apply solutions to your own problems. And after you do something, share what you learn. Share new skills or finding, say in a particular blog or a GitHub or a local meetup. You can take a small break, a few minutes, to slow down yourself, to improve, and then learn a new language. You can change the configurations of a common task. Explore. Explore yourself always. Follow the coders in Twitter or Facebook or social media. Explore what they are doing or what they have done and explore how that could be used for your own application or subscribe to any newsletters, technical journals, because this really will help you. This really helps you in making improvement of yourself. And there is no very big secret for becoming a better programmer except this: practice, practice, practice. Along with this, patience, perseverance. You need to really be stay curious. You need to be proud to ask for help. You go for such an height to achieve something for yourself, to explore yourself. That helps a lot. And there is one more question here from the other lady by the name Asha Sarkar. She is asking me how important are coding hackathons for tech career. Coding contexts like hackathons are in great demand to brush up the coding skills. The problem such an event is based on fundamentals of the programming. So, whatever the skill set you are or you are aware of, you should really make a deep dive into the programming skills to be perfect of yourself of that particular technology, that particular programming. And these are coding contests like whatever it is, either hackathon or skill test or live coding events really helps a lot. It has been a very popular in recent times, and any software developer of any age can participate in such competitions. It's mainly meant to brush up the skills, more importantly, to earn the name and fame, and if possible, a career for yourself also. So the benefits of practicing in such a coding contest is, we can say it to be an endless. It helps to improve the problem solving techniques. When you say the programming part, that means your problem solving skills have to be in a higher end. And that could be achieved only when you go on doing the programming. You go on give uh, some feed to your brain games. And resolving a real world problem with the whatever the best solution that is possible helps you an analytical and rational thinking to be developed. You brush up programming skills. It's a great way to brush up. In the sense like they'll give you a problem you need to really work on, whatever the skill set you are having. You have the opportunity to go into the basics and learn the concepts more clearly. And in these competitive programming events, hackathons or coding programmers, you make other developers to team up, or there must be some certain requirement that you team up with other co-developers, and that helps you in improving the team developer skills. Working in a team is really a great way to find out a solution rather than as an individual working for a solution. And this hackathons makes you to write a cleaner code, a better code. As we have said in the first question itself, it's not like how you write a code. It's like how you write a clean code, how you write a better code. So when you are working on developing a bigger application, you are forced to write a clean code that has to be understood by other team members. In some cases, it's like, you are making a good habit of writing a code in a cleaner way for other teammates. Say, for example, there are some websites like GitHub, which allows other developers to view the codes of red coders or highly rated programmers, giving them a chance to see how other expert code approaches the same problem. And these hackathons, one more advantage is they provide you good brain exercise. A brain teasing problem at any coding competition makes your utilization of your brain, and it helps in finding an optimal solution. Whether you are practicing a live contest or just practicing at home, it will definitely help you in boosting your brain efficiency. And of course, one of the major perks or one of the major advantage you could say for this hackathon is you are earning a employment opportunity. Nowadays, that has been a very, very trend, I should say. In fact, for making an employment opportunity to the prospective employers. It is a easy way. It is a not only easy way, an effective way, I could say, because most companies organize such events to headhunt the real talent from the uh, group of people, from the crowd. If you are performing well in the competition, then you are more likely among the candidates to keep, better suit for hiring. And it also provides a good way to prepare for interviews. Whether you are going for real world interview where your screening is based on the analytical skills or problem solving skills, whatever it is, when you are assigning a problem, when you have been assigned a problem and you are solving it in a particular time, in a stipulated time, and you are giving it to the hackathon as a solution, that itself will make you an effective competitive programmer. That makes yourself very, very good prepared for an interview. And believe me, it is helping you to analyze, to assess your own skills so that you can work on the weaknesses you have. You can evaluate the skills and you can work on the weakness part and then try to improve yourself. And one more thing is the networking would be a greater opportunity to have when you are in a group hackathon. It's nothing but you are making a community work for you. You are developing the community of like-minded people. A network of software professionals is being grown. And of course, some hackathons, they'll give you the prizes and money. That's always there anyway. So, going a hackathon is really a very good chance. If you're able to go, not physically, of course, it's not the time to go physically, live events. This is a really a very good platform to explore yourself, to expose to the employees. And this can be really a very good thing, I could say. Now, there is one more query okay, from Meera Singh. Okay, Meera Singh. Hi, I wish to upskill in coding. What are some courses that I can opt for? Upskill the coding part and the courses that really it wants to do it. So, in fact, what are the upskills you want or you want to improve yourself, the coding will definitely helps you a lot. It depends what are the technologies, what are the things we are using it for. You should meant for upskilling yourself, learn yourself, enhance yourself. If you want to land a career, say as a software engineer or a software developer, then having experience is really a key. And having experience, it's not an easy part. And if you are learning a code or learning to code, there are plenty of reasons you should say. For example, how to learn a coding part, how to learn coding will definitely teach you to mock up, say, a very basic website design or a very basic web app. That gives you an idea of how the actual things work. And if you're able to develop such a thing, such an app, demo app, then it can impress the hiring manager. Might be you are not going for the same programming interview, but it definitely leaves an impression on the employer about you. And it's it never goes waste. And there are some things that really helps you a lot. To learn coding, you could go for something like Skillshare, where introduction to programming, introduction to coding, all those uh, related fields, related videos are there. And in fact, making an application with no programming experience, that's a very good way. That's a very good course, in fact. And you could excel yourself in MS Excel. It's actually a easy way, learning Excel. Same thing, you could go for mastering MS Excel. This is one of the programming things I could say. And of course, the basics of HTML5 and CSS3. These are the web development technologies that has been in a demand always, always. How we are building a website and how we are making a life easier. All could be done when you have an idea of web development technologies. It's nothing but HTML5 and CSS3. Once when you are familiar with this HTML5 and CSS3 technologies, go for the next step. That is JavaScript. How to learn JavaScript, how to implement JavaScript in your website. For this, I prefer or I would suggest Udemy or Code Academy are the good online things, where the projects are there along with the quizzes. And along with this, like the next step would be, learning the PHP and MySQL tutorial. Because if you want to develop your website, only HTML, CSS, JavaScript will not do. Along with that, you need to have something on the backend part. And PHP is the next language I could say after HTML and CSS. Or go for Python. Python has been a trendy language now, and you as a visual learner has many options of learning a Python, whether it is a Code Academy or Udemy. I would prefer Udemy for Python. And Ruby on Rails. That is one more programming things or programming language you could really look for to uh, know yourself of the experiences of learning how to do. And I could say the programming when this topic has come. So let me say about the programming languages a developer should learn. A developer should learn to call himself as a master developer. The, there are some important programming languages you could say, and out of that I could categorize mostly to a couple of might be five. No, because as you know, C++ and Java has been in a trend for many years. In fact, as you know, or if this sounds very practical, very interesting for you, Java has completed 25 years after its advent, and it has been that much demanding from past 25 years. It is able to manage here itself in all the programming skills. So whenever you are going for an interview, interviewers will give more attention if we have our knowledge of say such languages like C++ and Java. Next comes the Python. So some interviews really like candidates with strong experience either C++ or Java and who can write scripts in Perl or Python. And as you know, or if you are not familiar with that, Java has its own very advantage. That is why it has been ruling the world. It write a program once and execute it anywhere. You cannot ignore a Java if you want to do for application development. And C is the language that every developer should know at the very start of their career, because it makes you something to get closer to the system, to the online, to the programming things, and understand the programming concepts that helps you to learn the next form or next thing of, say, a Java, where JVM comes into exist. And when you say the scripting language, Python is the most many interviews choice. In the sense, for online support, Python is always great. And whether you are learning C, C++, or Java, the entire is classified into, say, an object-oriented or a functional programming language. So it's a mix of language. It's a mix of all these concepts: object-oriented, functional, scripting. And Java is, going into deeper way one of the languages. It is one of the most popular language, and it holds a sizable market share in games and mobile application development. Whether you are saying an Android development or iOS web application development, Java is there. It works on basic concepts of write once, run anywhere, because it is used to build a robust server-side applications where any complexity projects could be built. Tools and technologies are there online to make you to understand. If you want to complete or if you want to master the Java, then go for any online courses which are available for a free and as well as for a paid versions. And next comes our Python. Python is most sought out language and it has been taught in most schools and colleges across the world. In fact, now as the present trend goes, it is the highly replaced language of Java in many academic courses. So what is it you learn from Python? We'll see. Python is has more lot to learn. It is one of the language which can be used as scripting language as well as proper object-oriented language for a large project. In fact, many websites, including Reddit, they're built upon Python frameworks, and it's increasingly developed their demand for new generation technologies like machine learning, artificial intelligence, and data science. Uh, there are certain things like complete by Python bootcamp or complete Python course, free Python courses. You could just go for all these live sessions and then make yourself interactive. And the next comes the language of JavaScript. You can replace Java with C++ and Python to Ruby, but there is no replacement of JavaScript. You can replace Java with C++, Python to Ruby, but JavaScript can't be replaced. That is what I'm saying. It has been dominating in the world. It's more to do like it's of a client-side scripting language, while other things like Node.js, Angular, they are all server-side languages. Now, when you are saying a Java programmer, you are working on JSP and servlet-based applications. This language, learning this language will definitely help you to decide which feature should be implemented on the server side and which can be handled on the client side. So that validations you could you could really do by learning such things, such languages. And there are many courses available online, say from the scratch, entire complete JavaScript course or JavaScript course for web developers and so on. And everyone, a programmer or every programmer believes that you cannot be a true programmer without knowing C or C++. This is a very strong statement, and this has been said by many experienced persons too. You cannot be a programmer without knowing C or C++ because they are that much fundamental basic programs. And it's one of the languages you must know. In fact, many of expert programmers or expert high-level program managers or project managers, they have learned their C during their academic. It's the most preferred language for system programming, and it's a big and it's a good programmer for programmers to begin with. If you want to learn C++ instead of C, then also it's not a bad idea. You can go and learn for it. If you want to make games and learn C++, then there are many such courses available. Say free C++ course. And then the next language I would prefer uh, for you people to learn might be a Scala. Scala is the language is created based on the best practices from the past, in fact 15-20 years. It is a functional programming language. So it's a different from object-oriented programming. That means it is a bit different. Though because there are many functional programming languages available, I find Scala to be of a very good replacement or very good when you say the functional programming languages. And these are the five languages which I would prefer for you to learn. That's a very interactive, very good question, I should say. It make me to speak a lot. And there are questions coming in. I guess I've covered some of the things. There might be duplications. Benefits of knowing coding on different software. This is just now I have answered this one by Daksha. What is the benefit of knowing coding on different softwares? So as I have been saying just now, the five programming languages, whatever I feel every coder or every programmer should know, it has its own advantage. Say functional programming, object oriented, object based, variables, methods, functions, web development, application development, and system generated codes. So these are all different classifications you could do for the different programming languages. So one has its own advantages, the other has not the advantage, but it has its own. So learning all these things will definitely help you to see the programming world in a better a better prospect. I have been learning or have been working as a software engineer for the past 10 years. I want to explore coding now. How can I go about it? Huh, okay. And I could see similar question the other way also. You know, even though it is from a fresher, I mean, she asked Shweta Manila. She asked like, I'm a fresher. How do I work on my coding skills? These things are, I feel both these questions are a similar way. Even though it is from a 10 years fresh, from 10 years experienced and a fresher. How it helps is you might have not have an absolute idea of how to start for a starter and what to improve for an experienced person. But everything is necessary because when you are learning or when you are coding, it's as I said, it's nothing but it is an expression. It is a problem solving technique. You are focusing on the applications to be built. At the same time, working on the programming languages. These essential skills are developed when you are learning a coding. And besides the existential value, learning to code will definitely will make you to place in a perfect job, perfect career for you. And I do believe effective coders will have more time to work on the passion, side projects, and enjoy a sense of self-reliance, uh, personal life, because they have enhanced focus and they can tackle any of the concentrated effort, and this definitely will lead to the greater productivity in whatever the sectors or the fields they are working on. Every coder, whether it is an experienced one or a fresher one, will definitely need some of the other skills. It's not the program skills I'm talking about, the other skills, like say self-reliance. When you're starting your coding, you can really feel very overwhelming, more satisfied. Or as a fresher, you could there would be an always a confusion. like what I should learn, what I should focus on, a front end language or a back end language, or which programming language should I use, where to begin. It's nothing like it's the only way to eat an elephant is to bite it at a time. Pick something and then start. There are many resources, I could say infinite resources, that how you can learn a code. But it's up to you to seek them, to engage with them. There will be many a times when you want to really give up or you want real fed up and I don't want. But you have someone else. So go to them, show them or ask them how they want you to do or how they would advise you to do something. Then you again start it. The more you resist, that adjusts you to fail on your own. So don't go for that, but go think of long-term success. You have the great influence on where you are, what you are, and what your capabilities are, and it's you who can change them. It's never too late to recognize this, and you can take the responsibility of changing yourself by consuming the information you have and how you are applying it, how you are applying your interest, how you are applying your study, your efforts, and how you are making that goal to be achieved. That entirely depends upon you. And the second necessary coding skills is the language. You will have to learn at least one programming language or scripting language in a perfect way, whether it is from Code Academy or edX or a GitHub or a Udemy or a physical book, whatever it is. Learn a particular technology because the programming language will never go waste. Python, which was developed in 80s, is considered one of the easiest coding language to learn. It's a free, open source scripting language. It is used by many software giants as well as by NASA, Google, whatever it is, starting from a small business to higher end. You can't take it out like Python is. It was the old language. No, it has been again coming to existence now. Every college has Python as its part of curriculum and JavaScript. It's more of like scripting language for the front end development. C language. It has been the basic for everything. So whether it is scripting language, object-oriented language, programming language, functional language, you just go for it. And the next skill as an coder you need to have really is you need to master the logic. You need to master the logic. So you have to figure out what the mistake is, what the bug is, and that is what is the logic skills are made up of. When you say logic skills, you are able to analyze some things and then you are thinking in that particular way. If you are remembering the small classes, you might have learned something like nor, or, not, simple logic programming. So that is the one where we have to really work on. And attention to details. Many programmers or coders should have an attention to details. And recognition of stupidity. When you say this, how the computer think or how they should think. You should think in that way and make the analysis because you are giving a computer just an instruction, but not you are giving it the brain. It has no brain to think. So how you are giving the instruction to it? That means you have to stick in a stupid way also sometimes. So when you are coding, make sure that you are making it to input in whatever you want the output to come. You are creating algorithms. That means you are making the computer to go into an independent, brilliant, and productive way. Using that algorithms, create a solution. Whether it is a quicksort, Huffman compression, or Monte Carlo method, whatever it is. And the abstract thinking, that means say if I need to search for a particular phone number in a telephone directory, then I could write a code saying like get first entry, if this is the required entry, then write down phone number, else go to the next entry, if this is correct entry. So it's like you can go on writing if then only, or This if then can be made into a loop statement. That means you are making it to be abstract. You are making it to be shortened. And then you are giving it to the computer. So how you should make the abstract thinking possible to your computer is the other skill you need to have as a coder. And then of course coder should have a strong memory always and a patience. And the last one is a scientific method of achieving or solving a problem. That is how a coder should have. In fact, I could say emotional quotient plus intelligent quotient is that makes a successful coder. IQ plus EQ is equal to success. So with this one, I end this live session of today. I hope I had cleared many of the doubts of your gorgeous ladies. And thanks for your time. Thanks for listening to everything. It has been a great for me also to brush up my own things and be in a practice session with your guys. Have a great day. Thank you.